Challenge your potential and the sky's the limit. Join me, Emily Ibbott, in A Diary to Empower. From a starting point of a love for dance, my life has evolved, but along the way, I've learned so much in how we develop, learn and grow from those around us to elevate us even further on. Be inspired and be open to learn, and no limit will ever exist. Come along with me on my own journey in personal development, but with guests who have empowered me and are still doing so in my own journey. Hey, and welcome back. And I am very, very excited for today's guest. I have the lovely Jed with me.
Hello everyone. How are you doing? Hello, Emily.
Hello. Thank you so much for traveling to come on. And it always means so much I've come across like so many inspiring things and people and stories. And I'm really, really excited because this is a whole other avenue that I don't think I've had any of along these lines of this topic. So obviously we first met at the She Strides Wellness Day, yes, which was epic. And you will probably notice, for those who are watching, some beautiful products behind us, or beside us even. And we're basically going to talk about creating a product for the fitness industry and obviously where it stemmed from, what your background is, and from there really. And it's been really nice to chat prior to this podcast, just kind of getting the ideas flowing and also just talking about such a topic. There is such a saturated industry in the supplement, I guess, world, is probably the best way to put it. So it's just kind of starting with where it stemmed from, because you've only just launched-ish, right?
Correct, yeah. So launched about 8-9 weeks ago, I think was the first product run. But I mean, I can go into the whole, you start from when I was a child.
Way back.
So essentially, hello, my name is Jed. I'm the founder of Juiced, which is the UK's very first high protein fruit-based drink, just using natural fruit, 15 grams collagen protein and nothing else. So that's what these lovely things, my lovely babies, are that you can see.
So hopefully you're hooked already just by that.
That's it, yeah. So use Emily's discount code for 100% off. That'd be great. So I started Juiced in October last year. So it was born from, I was at a crossroads of my career. I was doing sales for 3 years, and anyone doing sales knows that you can get caught into these cycles of doing sales because there's always the next commission
and
check.
So much of these like people who get burnt out, dead end, and it's quite common. I mean, I've never necessarily come from that background, but I hear it so often with where then people have kind of had these ideas or where they're at in their journey or different things, and then they kind of want to stem and just make it their own rather than making someone else's.
This is the thing, because I spent the 3 years in corporate sales selling stuff for other people, and I wasn't necessarily keen on that. And I wasn't overly interested in those particular products and services. So I've always known, right, I want to do my own thing. So it was around that time, I think it was, as I say, September, October time. And then I'd requested to go on holiday. And they said no. I said, I want to go away for 4 weeks because I hadn't used any holiday yet. And the company turned
around.
Where
were you going to go?
I was going to go to Australia because you need to go for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like it's a long journey, jet lag stuff. You got to go. So, and they said no. And so I took that as my sign from the universe, maybe.
See ya.
Yeah, basically, I just handed my notice in. And I thought, okay, right, I know I need to do something here. So alongside this story, there's a more long run story, which I'm sure we're going to go into in detail. But essentially, I've got a muscle wasting condition called muscular dystrophy. So many of you might not know what that is listening. Some of you might. There's a few people that may know someone who's got someone affected by it. But
I think as well, it's one of those things that people have heard of, but actually don't know anything about.
That's it. So I might be your first. So it's an honor. But no, it's a muscle wasting condition. So essentially, to put it in layman's terms, my muscles are constantly trying to break down and get weaker and weaker over time. That happens to varying degrees for people. It's as with everything, it's a spectrum. Some people have it really severely, where unfortunately it's life limiting, and others might get a shoulder injury in their 50s, and then doctors say, oh, by the way, it's not recovering very quickly because you've got a muscle wasting condition. how it affects me is that just I am weaker day to day. That is it. That's the most simplest way to put it. Is that going upstairs is a little bit harder. Getting up and down off the floor takes me a bit longer. It's those sort of day to day activities. And of course, as we know, lifting weights, I'm not going to be pushing as heavy or pulling as many weights as yourself, as many of my peers, as most people out there. But long story short, I was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy at the age of 8 after many years going backwards and forwards to the doctors. And they said that I'd be lucky to live through my early 20s because they thought that I had a more severe form of the condition.
Okay.
So from that point, I went sort of head first into physiotherapy, fitness, nutrition. And at 14, when everyone was out playing sport, I was allowed to go to the gym at school.
Love this.
And that was where I fell in love
There we
with
go.
the gym and weightlifting. And I thought, well, so obviously you see it online. I thought, oh, I'll lift weights and get massive and girls will fancy me. That was, to be honest,
Love
the main.
it. Fair. Yeah.
Obviously, health is a big priority there, but really I was
it's very
like,
different when you're going through kind of that age as well, like
Absolutely.
how you think about yourself and,
Yeah,
and those
yeah.
changes and mindset changes that are happening like anyway. And did you kind of, even though you were so young, kind of know that you were like, no, I need to do something about this. I want to go against those odds that they're telling me, because I suppose you know no different, right? So you could have just kind of gone with what they said.
That's it. I think it's one of those, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's a very delicate balance because there's only so much when you're faced with a muscle wasting condition, and some people do have a very severe form of it. Them telling themselves in the morning, no, I'm going to go and attack the day, is not going to change the fact that they're going to be in a wheelchair by 14. You know, that's just the way it is. But I'm very fortunate for a multitude of reasons, probably an element of the hard work that I put into my fitness.
100%.
Growing up, my parents were very much, because I got such a late diagnosis, they never picked me up when I said I was tired. They never, say, oh, we'll rest now, it's fine, or go get ice cream, we'll do this. It was just, no, come on, stop being lazy, basically, because they just
And I guess it's kind of, they weren't to know. So they're just trying to obviously encourage
Exactly.
And also that puts a bit of resilience in your mind anyway, because you're like, okay, like let's get up and move, or let's see if we can get up and move at least, rather than giving in to, I guess, what
it was about sort of
things
trying
are
to,
saying.
rather than I can't do it, it's okay, I'll do it, but we need to just figure out the way that works, whether that's someone giving me a bit of help or whether me just doing it in a slightly different way to everyone else. But that's sort of how I grew up. And as I say, it's no different at 14 once I fell in love with the gym. It's the same thing. Okay, I can't do that exercise. I can't do a body weight squat, let alone a barbell squat or a weighted squat. So, well, what can I do? Leg extensions, hamstring curls,
that
the leg
actually is
press.
going to be so much support to everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Even if you, at that age, you probably didn't know whether you would be able to do X, Y, Z on the bigger movements, shall I say. But actually, if anything, it's going to get you there if you can do it further down the line.
Exactly. And it's rather than just, it's not so black and white in terms of I can do this, I can't do this. It's okay, I can't do this. What can I do?
Yeah.
And is there a way to get to that point?
Yeah.
So, and I think one of the things as well, whilst I was trying to figure out how to navigate, weightlifting and my condition and everything, was nutrition. Obviously. And again, everything you see online, it's a bit of a toxic place sometimes. And you see protein shakes. The 14-year-old boy, I was like, this is going to cure me. Why have the doctors not thought of this before? So I started smashing protein shakes. I hit into, I think I got the mass gainer. I won't name the brand, but big old black tub of mass gainer. Or just awful. It's rubbish. But I started having protein shakes and that trend continued. Initially thinking it was going to be the cure, and then eventually just that more healthy mindset of this is a supplement, a protein supplement to my lifestyle when I'm at uni.
To all your other foods, to all your other meals. And the thing is, you've probably not a bad thing to be paying attention to your nutrition in that way from such a young age, because to be honest, it's mostly the opposite way around, right? People then get to like 18, 19, 20, and then they're like, oh, okay, I should probably start paying attention to something.
That's it.
So to be in that kind of mindset so early, because it is going to make a difference to what's going on, even though it's not necessarily going to cure it, it's going to get you in a much better position, joints, happy mind, like gut, like everything. Within that.
Because I think a lot of things that people don't think about, and as I say, because I'm sort of one in a million statistically in terms of doing so well. So I'm 25 years old. Doctors said I'd be lucky to live past my 20s, early 20s. So it's statistically unlikely that I'd be where I am, let alone be so mobile and up and about still.
Yeah.
Um,
And gymming.
and gymming a lot. Sort
Love it.
of, I'd say 4 or 5 times a week now. It used to
Amazing.
be every day, but since starting the business, some days I'm
Rest
doing a lot of
days are
steps.
needed.
Yeah, we need a day off. So I think it's, a lot of people ask, well, what did you do to get there? And it's not just I did this. There's things you need to think about that's like, okay, right, I thought, let me try bulking. Let me try
Yeah.
having more food than my body's necessarily burning through more calories than that
Yeah.
whilst I'm lifting heavier.
Yeah.
See if it works for me. Because the doctors have said avoid weightlifting. Because when you're weightlifting, you're breaking down your
And I
muscles.
think it's so hard because it must have felt, well, it is counterproductive, right? You're
Yeah,
trying to build, but at the same time, your muscles are like, nah.
that's it. That's
But
it.
at the same time, putting the building blocks for your nutrition, putting the
Yeah.
building blocks for your training, actually,
It's
there
helped
will be,
massively.
even if it's slightly counterproductive, you're going to be doing more than not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I find that also it's so, sometimes, not always, very closed-minded from doctors, and we've all heard so many stories of people being like, you're not going to be able to do this, or you shouldn't do that, or some physios, not all, just say no.
Yeah.
Or just do the most basic rehab, when actually it's far from the case. It's so individual that actually the feedback that you could be getting from your weightlifting could be carrying into your doctor's appointments. Actually, hang on a minute, look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I think not enough doctors, etc., not all of them, shall I say, look to that element. And,
That's it.
I find that people like myself go to the doctors, or even if I get my bloods done privately, it's like, hang on a minute, I know the information I'm giving you. Please take it on board. I want to know further rather than just kind of the black and white answers.
Yeah, I think so. Bearing in mind, I started weightlifting like 10 years ago. And it's only recently that doctors have started saying to people with muscular dystrophy, again, this is not medical advice, anyone. Do not just do this.
Disclaimer.
A disclaimer for
Yeah.
everyone and the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's only recently that they've been open saying, okay, maybe do some light weights and some lightweight
And
lifting
also, you know
stuff.
your body, right?
That's it. And my view is my muscles breaking down is inevitable. So if I do nothing, I know exactly what's going to happen to my body. It's just going to get weaker and weaker. So if it speeds it up a bit and I make a mistake, oh well, we're heading that way anyway. So my view is just, well, we've got to try something.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's only
Because
10
you're
years
gonna
down the
be
line.
building a little bit, right? Things
Or
are
maintain-
going
slowing
to
it
maintain.
down,
Yeah,
anything.
you're going to be working, and then, like you say, in line with the nutrition, which 100% we're going to go on to.
Yeah.
It's you're putting the building blocks there that are so important.
And your joints and tendons as well. It's a lot of the
It's
reason
not just
why.
to do with your muscle.
That's it. So yeah, you've got your muscle breakdown, but if you're not putting your body under any sort of load or resistance, all the other building blocks around it are also going to be breaking down. So actually, you then end up with an injury, and then you're out of action, and then everything is game over. Especially with a muscle wasting condition or a degenerative condition, you end up injured or out of action, in inverted commas. That's it. So if I break an arm or break a bone or something, I have to go get it pinned. I can't be in a cast, because that time in a cast will mean that I just degenerate so quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all of those things that people don't.
If we could just
necessarily
wrap
think
you in
about.
bubble wrap, that'd be great.
You sound like my mum now. That's it. They don't want me leaving the house.
And I think it actually does come down to that, but equally, you can't let that stop you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it must be, I know we spoke about this when we first called, it must be pretty frustrating when you hear, mostly, I guess, maybe from a certain generation, I'm old, this is the reason for this is the reason for that, I'm, this is going, that is going. And you're like, hang on a minute, come on, you can do way more than you think.
Yeah.
And I encourage this to so many, and I've got clients, across the ages going into their 60s. And I think they are realizing actually you can change your life no matter what age, let alone for someone who has no choice and is literally, you're grasping onto every bit of muscle you have to achieve what you are achieving. So it's just kind of, I guess, that message also to people out there that, you don't be accepting of, oh, this is just because of that, or this is because of that.
Yeah.
And that must be really interesting for you.
Yeah, it is. So, there's different ways that I've looked at it over the years. And I think initially it was quite frustrating when, I've been working out and staying on top of things from 14 and get to university at sort of 18. A friend of mine decides, oh, I think I'm going to start gymming now. And just instantly,
Blows them.
over that first year or 2 years, they look great. They're lifting heavy weights. You're like, I've been doing this for 4 years, 5 years, and they just take off. But then the way I've reframed that now, or the way I look at it, is actually good for them that they're now doing something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be annoyed at people for doing something. And
No.
what I struggle with sometimes is when I've had friends or people that I know who are like, I could do this, but I'll take the day off, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. And I'm thinking, if only. It's like, fine, if you're not going to use them, give them to me, because I'll use them. Like, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll take the gains.
Yeah.
And I say to people, and I really applaud kind of where your mindset is at. And I find that the journey, even I didn't even know any of this when obviously we first met to talk about the product. But I find that, I say to people, I'm working my ass off for like 8 years in the gym and I'm still small. Like, I'm not big enough. But, to be doing that and being in the condition you are, it's like, use what you've blooming got, and sort of utilize the gym. My leg session this afternoon is going to be epic.
It's going to be the best one you've ever had in your life. It has to be.
And it's just really, really interesting to hear that mindset shift and perspective, because you must, I'm sure everyone in your life is the most supportive of you and what you do and everything, but I bet there was quite a shift maybe when you got to university that you realized that some people are just really lacking in life, and you're like, I'm really trying here and I've got no choice.
That's it.
Whereas you've got all the choice in the world.
That's it. Yeah, it's when people have the choice and they decide not to, can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Because as you said, I've got no choice really. I mean, technically I do have a choice. I can not work out and leave it and see what happens. But in my mind, it's, for me, exercise and nutrition is like showering. It's just,
and longevity of your life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all plays into it. And again, it's something that I feel is important for everyone, because you see the people who have been, people who did sport when they were younger tend to be stronger or less injury prone when they're older, or people that pick something up or do something or as a hobby even, but it's active, tend to be up and about, more mobile in their later years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, make the most of it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean to the extent of, I'm not there like David Goggins. If you're not running 200 miles a day, you're ashamed. You should be ashamed of yourself. But it's just that idea of, do something, do a little bit. Even if your something is, you play tennis 3 times a week and you eat relatively healthy 4 or 5 times a week, fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Because part of the reason I work out and eat healthy is because I still enjoy my life. I want to drink. I want to,
and you want to have that
eat
balance.
good food and everything.
Yeah,
that's it. So it's more of a balance. I definitely went through periods where it was strict and it was like, I'm not eating this, I'm not doing that.
And I suppose that's similar with everyone when we're in a focused diet phase, or when we're in, a more structured phase, then that is necessary for that. But overall, we want balance. And I say that to people all the time.
And I think you just know, you hit a point, it's so much easier. For me, it's never been like a weight on the scale. It used to be, but now it's like, okay, do my knees hurt if I go on a tiny little jog or something? Because a jog's hard enough as it is. Or can I dead hang for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Which is pretty tricky for me. But like, if I can't, it's likely because I've put on a little bit too much weight. Because someone who's weaker, if I'm trying to carry an extra 3 kilos of my body weight, that's makes all the difference.
Yeah, because that's on your muscles.
And I've got a suit, which I had like a special suit. And I know if I don't fit into that suit,
that's the reference point.
That's the reference point. I need to start working my way back down. And if it's too loose, I'm probably restricting. So we've got some room to play.
Nice, nice ways to look at it.
That's the way I
and also a really nice perspective and a very fresh perspective is typically we focus on, we know where sometimes that scales need to go, or measurements or visuals, but ultimately is down, especially for you, you're looking at it in terms of, okay, how's my body actually working? How's it actually feeling today? Whereas we don't look at that enough, and that is a factor into where our progress is sitting.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got more energy, cool, we've got a gym session, we're feeling pretty good, feeling pumped or whatever, we're fitting into great clothes and we're feeling confident. Tick, 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 it feels great.
It's all a confidence thing, I think. And if you're confident being slightly, less ripped because you like that your arms might be bigger in a shirt or something, great. If you're confident the other way because you're a rock climber and you want to be as small as possible to go, is whatever works that you can live your
100%, and
life.
it's so goal dependent.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
goal dependent. So in line with that, and steering it a little bit more now to what you've got going on. So obviously, with all this in mind, and obviously where you got within your sales job,
Yes.
or slash quit it,
Yes, yeah.
you Juiced was born in October last year.
That's it.
And we briefly spoke about where the name came from. And you want to explain to people sort of where that happened?
Exactly. Yes. So, I mean, I went very round houses there into my whole life, but essentially had loads of protein shakes, loads of protein supplements over the
Well,
years,
there
and
needs to be
eventually
something
hit a
better.
point. Yeah, I was like, there's got to be something nicer than just dairy, clumpy, your shaker smells, all these things that you know, probably the audience knows loads about. It's like there's all
Don't
of
leave
these
your
things.
shaker in your car.
Oh Jesus, don't! Especially not in summer.
So
It's
it's
dreadful.
just, yeah.
So there was, and I thought there's got to be something nicer. And because of my job, I had a bit more money at the time, and I thought, I can have something that's RTD. We call it ready to drink, as opposed to having to shake it up.
And also, people are lazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, like, people want things like that.
That's it.
So the idea of not having to get a scoop and a shake,
Yeah.
powder, like,
put it in a Ziploc to take into work and stuff. It's all those
looking
things.
all the very suspicious.
Yeah. That's it.
But yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, it's got to be something which isn't just shake or heavy, or the main thing as well for a lot of my friends, not me, fortunately, but lactose, dairy, whey, wreaks havoc on people.
Yeah, it does. And a lot of people are figuring out kind of there's so many different ways, and you know how refined they are.
Yeah.
And it takes a very long while to find that for you.
That's it.
So having an alternative that's eliminating all of that and actually just nice
Exactly.
to drink.
And I thought, I was just thinking at the time, okay, what would I want to drink? So I work out in the morning. So I thought, okay, what would I want to drink first thing in the morning? What do humans drink? I was like, juice.
Yeah.
People have juice.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone has juice. It's just juice. It's not difficult. It tastes nice. So I was like, okay, can we put protein into juice? I was like, I mean, maybe. So I started asking around some people on LinkedIn, who worked in supplement companies, and they were happy, fortunately, to give up, half an hour to get on a call, and spoke to some people. And they said, yeah, it would work. It would work quite well because of juice being nice and sweet and acidic. It masks that chalky protein taste that we all know. And I thought, okay, right, I'm going to commit to this, so I need a name. I thought, juiced. I was like, okay, juiced. I thought, well, you've got the juice aspect, and if you're in the gym community, you know that juiced is being on gym, basically.
Yeah, juice, jacked, all of that.
That's it. So I was
I
was like, there's funny for the gym people, and outside of the gym, well, someone like my mum doesn't know if I said, oh, they look juiced up, she's just going to think they look swole or something. She doesn't know the actual connotation.
Go straight over,
I was like, juiced would work, and so I started looking on Company's House, and juiced with an I was taken. So I just took the I out. I was like, how can we still have juiced without the I?
Yeah.
And took it out. And now I need to
I
make
also
up some
think it goes so well with your name.
Thank you, Juiced Jed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jed from Juiced. I think that's how I'm known by some people. It's just Jed from Juiced. Because a lot of people have said, oh, is it because of the J and the E and the D? And depending on the person, I'll be like, yes, it definitely is.
Sure.
That's why I did it. And they're like, oh, why did you take out the I? And I'm like, it's just because, you don't need rubbish in your drinks. We take out anything unnecessary. And it was taken by an advertising company or something like that.
It was already taken.
That's it. So that's how we ended up with the name. But I always remember I read a book called Shoe Dog, which I believe is the one with Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. I believe. Otherwise, it's the Reebok one. Anyway, no, I think Shoe Dog is the founder of Nike.
Someone with a very big name.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
And I just remember him thinking for his logo that he paid an intern $30 to come up with a load of different logos. The 5 of them at the company needed to vote on their favorite. His least favorite was the tick. And everyone else at the company was like, I think 3 voted for the tick, 1 voted for something else, and he voted for whatever. And he had to submit it that night. So he submitted the tick, hating it. And now it's probably the most recognizable logo in the world.
And so simple.
Exactly. And so I've just thought, I'm not going to overthink this. Just juice. Let's stick with that. I'm not even going to bother with the logo because no one knows who you are yet. So that will come down the line.
Yeah.
And that's it, basically. There wasn't some big customer survey that went into it.
Yeah.
I was just like, juice, that'll do the job quite nicely, I think.
Love it. And I guess to kick it off, how's it all been going?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's great fun though. Obviously, I'm doing something I love, and that it sounds cheesy because it's everyone says it, but I don't feel that sort of dread for Monday. Or I work, let's say, 6 days a week on different days and stuff, but you don't have that like, oh, here we go, Monday's
Yeah.
coming back round. You're constantly working, but it just feels like a project you're doing, like a side
Yeah, and
project.
you're constantly growing conversations. And
That's it.
thing is, it is hard because you are full of an industry with so much, and especially now Clearways like
Mm,
up and coming. Still not this element at all, but there's so much
yeah.
that people are seeing, and like you say, we were saying in vending machines and where it's kind of going, and but it's exciting.
It's very exciting and it is good. I mean, so the main focus for me, so people understand, I mean, we launched, so October was when I set the business up and launched about, let's say, 8 or 9 weeks ago, the first product run. So I
It's
think
quite a long
it's a long period. It's a
process.
quick turnaround from nothing to a product.
Yeah.
But I think I have a bit of hyperfixation when something comes up. I'm just like, okay,
Was
that's it
it?
now. Yeah, so it's quite a quick turnaround, but so people can understand a bit more, like it does take time. I had to go and sample recipes and then pick your favorite sample, and everything that can go wrong will go wrong at every step of the way. I cannot tell you
Plan
how
for
painful that is to
everything.
say. Yeah, it will all go wrong. I promise you that
And
right
was
here, right
that
now.
in terms of taste? Was that in terms of how the products were coming together? Was that, or was it all?
Everything. I just it's just everything. Anything you have in your mind. So the sampling, I had an expectation of what I was going to get, or for the sampling, I thought, great, we can get these flavors and it'll fit into this budget per can. I'm trying to forecast a bit for the
Yeah.
ingredient costs, find the nicest flavors, but obviously they cost the most, and then you find the worst flavors, and that costs the least in your budget. So you're like, okay, let's find a solution to this. But fast forward all the way through to the first run of products got sent over to my warehouse. I've got a third party fulfillment company. Got one job: get the products. You send them out to the people that bought the products. And we'd done a 2 month pre-order run, so there was a backlog of orders that needed to be sent out, about 1,000 cans. And the fulfillment company, nothing against them, they've been lovely. So sorry if you're listening, but they sent out all the wrong products. And it's like you just think, okay, I'm safe with this. I'm going to pay someone else to do it so they can do it really proper. That's their whole world, is sending out products.
Yeah.
And they send out all the wrong products. And that just gives you, that's like a small insight into everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Imagine,
Yeah.
and then all the products they sent out that were wrong then got lost by it's just every single step of the way. But I love it.
Pardon
It's
the
great.
pun. Yeah, yeah.
It's every step of the way.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we now use DPD, next day delivery. So
There you
it'll be in
go.
your front door within 2 days.
There we go.
Yeah, everything goes wrong, but you love it. That's the crazy thing. You wake up going, oh, okay, this is all going to go wrong, and that's gone wrong, but you keep doing it.
A new challenge to overcome.
There we go.
It's probably the better
You
way
suddenly
to.
decide, oh, maybe the muscle condition isn't so bad because I'm now dealing with couriers and stuff. It's like,
What's new, honestly. I
Exactly.
feel like the world of delivery is
it's
just
dreadful.
carnage.
Yeah.
And how is sort of everyone receiving it? Like, obviously, it is fantastic. I know the She Strides girls all loved it, and they are so tasty, and people are enjoying the flavors. Like, where are you? It's going into gyms now. People can
Yes.
buy it online.
That's it. So, people love the product. The taste has gone down really well. I think, especially because the only thing is, people didn't know what to expect. So they hear about sort of using real fruit and they think, okay, real high sugar. But we added some water into the cans to bring that sugar content down, because I thought it's got to be something that I would want to drink.
Yeah, and
your
also
sugar
you
has-
want that little bit of like hydration element anyway.
Exactly. And so then other people think, oh, it's going to be like a smoothie, but it's not as thick
Thick.
as that. And then others think it's going to be a flavored water. So because it's a whole new category that I've innovated,
Yeah.
essentially, as a fruit-based protein drink. It's a great space, but there's always that issue with being the first mover, is having to educate people as you go. So there's been that resistance in terms of people love it, but they can't wrap their head around it sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to figure out, they're like, yeah, I like it, but I don't know what it is. And so
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a longer journey for us, is getting it in front of people, which is where I've been doing all these run club events
Like
like She's Tries.
pop-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just so people try it, and eventually someone goes, "Oh, I had that," or a friend's talking about it, and they go, "Yeah, no, that is nice. I've tried it."
Yeah.
So, but we're
And word of
now
mouth does make such a difference.
massively,
You
and
know,
like
it is.
reviews, word
Yeah.
of mouth. But the whole time we've been selling on the website is called D2C, so direct to consumer. That means you can order it direct from the website, www.juiced.co.uk, juiced without the I, because a load of people still put the I in, obviously. But what I'm doing now, my day to day is really filled with going to cafes, gyms. Just had like a beauty salon take an order.
Love that.
So that's what I'm trying to do with businesses, obviously
Yeah.
sell it to them as well. And it's like a chicken and the egg situation, because businesses want to buy your drink because they know there's demand for it,
Yeah.
and consumers are going to come in, buy it from their shelves. That's why they want to buy your company. Consumers want to buy the drink because they see it everywhere and they trust it, because businesses stock it all over the place. You've got all these billboards and stuff. So you're trying to get into businesses so that customers will buy it.
Yeah.
But then you're trying to sell to customers so that businesses will buy it. So
Buy
it's
it.
just doing these small little, you're just like chipping away bit
Yeah.
by bit by bit. And hopefully in the long run that helps.
And in terms of the beauty side of it, we must touch on the collagen.
Yes.
How did that come about? And how did you kind of know that that was the route you wanted to go down? Because wowza, what a, like, I don't like saying plug, but it's huge.
Massive.
Like, people are talking about it. Everyone, my clients are like, I'm taking collagen. Da, 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 da. You know, it's so, so, so great. Actually, when you look into the science of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So collagen makes up about 30% of the body's protein. So obviously your body is massively made up of proteins. But what people don't realize is a lot of people think collagen isn't protein. It's a separate thing. It's just for beauty, hair and nails, like a vitamin almost. But collagen is a protein. So not only is it good for your hair and your nails and your skin, but also it's good for things like your joints and your tendons and your muscles. But it's almost a building blocks all around the muscles as well, that something like a whey doesn't necessarily target as effectively. So whey is always going to be king of muscle building. Is whey protein, but you've got all of these things around where, you know, a lot of people are lifting heavy weights and their tendons snap, ligaments rip, whatever that is, and it's because they haven't been feeding or
Yeah.
giving nutrition to everything around the muscle.
And it's where I speak a lot more to my clients and explain kind of the process of EAAs and where
Yeah.
all of those other building blocks are coming into play. Like, people plug protein, protein, protein. And I find that actually no one just explains why.
Yeah.
Like, and I find that people want that knowledge and people see these crazes, and especially from the maybe fitness influencer side of things is very different to necessarily my industry direct. But it's, you know, there's so much up and coming stuff and they see these big names and see, but actually no, those people don't sit and explain, you know, why this is important for our bodies.
That's
Because
it.
you know, actually it's surprising how many people would put things, you know, take whatever supplement because it will help this
Yeah.
XYZ, but actually to be able to explain that. And
I challenge a lot of the listeners, whatever protein supplement or collagen supplement or whatever that they are taking, look at the ingredients list. Turn over the pot.
no one
look
does.
No one does. And try and pronounce everything on that list. And if you can do it, keep having it. If you can't,
Hats
come
off.
by juiced, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, is like, I was looking at, there's been a shift, I think, recently fortunately, away from just 0 calorie, 0 sugar, you know, because with that comes gums, stabilizers, sweeteners, all of these things that actually are completely artificial.
And also I don't like saying cult, that's maybe not the right word, but there's an up and coming amount of people who are a bit more wary of those things now. And of course, like, you know, we all have our 0 sugar drinks. You know, but it's understanding actually sometimes where things are sitting. And it's same as when you have food, you want complete proteins and not just incomplete proteins. So it's finding that balance between it, rather than just thinking, no, I shouldn't have that, or yes, I should have this.
Yeah.
And, you know, finding the products that can fit within that as well.
Funny, I know someone who I was speaking to recently, and it's an older guy. He's about 41, I think, and he has never drunk. He works out, is eating good food the whole time. He rarely eats fast food and everything. Never smoked, and he fortunately caught it very early, but got colon cancer.
Oh.
And the doctor said to me, said the only thing it can be, literally the only thing it can be, is because of preservatives and artificial ingredients in your diet from
Crazy.
processed food.
And it's why, like, I'm so here for the balance and I'm so here for the good stuff. I like a drink on the occasion, not so much in prep as I don't touch it. But I find that, just whole foods.
That's it.
Like whole foods, like less processed stuff. Yes, of course you can have, like, we all need sometimes, especially fast sugars, especially if we're running or training or etc. There is an element of that which is fantastic, but just ultimately, like, actually look at your diet. Are you like a child? Like, do you know what I mean? We don't need to have loads and loads of processed things, and just what you're looking at, breakfast, lunch and dinner, or even a snack, of to what is decent. Like, use your noggin a little bit.
It's funny you say about the fast sugars thing, because runners like cheese strides, but all these run clubs have really enjoyed something like juiced, because a lot of people have these gels, but it's very common knowledge you can have maybe one. You need to get used to it. If you're having 2 or 3 gels and a couple of bars or whatever, probably you're going to be experiencing some difficulties at some point during the day.
And it's interesting we talk about this, because I spoke to a client about this morning, and I was saying, stick to what I would rather you have sweets, or like some people make their own gels of honey or jam and things like that, but use products that are gonna be kind to you.
And it's literally, that's the other thing, because I used to I'd have a protein shake and a protein bar a day, and I noticed that I was like, there was some issues going on, and I thought, this isn't ideal.
Too many is not great.
This is it. And I started speaking to some people in the industry, and they said it's because of all of the rubbish that is in it. You've got stabilizers, which are just ruining your stomach, the preservatives, the sweeteners. And again, that's why it led to this. I thought, if I can just use real fruit and protein and remove all of the rubbish. So even the preservative in there is a berry. It's called rowan berry.
Love that.
So it is just fruit and protein, and we added some vitamin C.
And how many carbohydrates are in this?
So you've got just under 10 grams in the orange, peach and ginger, and you've got just over 10 grams in the cloudy apple and raspberry, and both of them have just over 100 calories. So if you took the macros and compared that to your normal protein shake or your normal ready to drink shake supplement, obviously there are still exceptions where you can get your powdered shakes, which are very low calorie, low sugar, but you take that compared to your normal thing, you've got about half the amount of sugar and calories compared to the industry average of your, again, don't want to name and shame on the podcast, but your bigger brands, essentially. And it's added sugar. That's like having a couple of bits of fruit and going off on a run.
And people, it really bugs me so much when people are like, fruit and sugar. Yes, correct.
Fast-acting carbs.
Good, great. We need them. Exactly. And, we have to be... It's also those same people that will then go chug a whole pack of biscuits. And I'm like, pick your battles.
And a McDonald's after the night out.
And I just think yes, of course, a banana has sugar in it. Of course, an orange, like whatever it may be. Yeah. Yes, they're great carbohydrates. They are sugar, of course, but they're natural sugars, and they're actually micronutrients are fantastic for our bodies.
It's moderation,
so
isn't it? Everything
100%.
I don't recommend that you get all your protein from juiced or any protein supplement for that reason.
Don't have a whole day's intake of protein.
It's just everything in moderation.
Yeah, and this, like, I mean, for some of my snacks that I have, like, I'll have a shake and some rice cakes, or a shake and some cereal, whatever. This is fantastic. You can add then into those little snacks, and actually you're not really filling yourself up as much. And we spoke about that a little bit. Yeah. And you don't always want to look at a snack and, oh my God, I think I've got to get through this shake, or I've got to try and stomach this. Actually, you're just having a nice refreshing drink.
There will be, thank you. That's it. There will be so many people listening that probably will think, they know that experience. There's that one day a week or one day every couple of weeks where you've made the protein shake and you're just looking at it and you're like, I just don't want to. And it's on the side and you're like, I just don't want to have this. It's just warm, or it's a bit this, it's a bit that. And you're like, I just can't be doing this. Yeah. So again, I just sort of want to get away from that. It's more down a soft drink route of just quick, refreshing, have it and get on with your day. You're not full. You're not.
I'm presuming ice cold is always preferred.
Ice cold is always best. Now, you don't have to store it like that. You can store it at room temperature. Amazing, but as with everything, who would have a warm Coca-Cola? Would you?
No.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There we go. Ice cold is always better.
And have you had, what's your favourite flavour?
So I'm not meant to have favourite children. However,
Okay.
my grandma does, so I will. I like the orange, peach, and ginger because I'm more of an orange juice man, and I like a bit of ginger.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's
again,
quite
it feels,
some people like a little bit of spice. Not spice, but like a hint of that, like
sprinkle.
Yeah,
We've got a hint of ginger in there because there are some people that get a bit scared by ginger. So I was like, it's just a hint.
Yeah.
Don't worry, because a lot of people they're like, oh, has it got ginger? I'm like, well, it says it on the thing. So yes.
Yeah.
But I like that one. But a lot of people, it's pretty 50-50. Some people, which I guess is a good thing with a product, right?
Yeah.
Some people like one product and some like the others.
Yeah.
What was your favourite? I think you've had them ages ago, didn't you?
I love the apple and raspberry. That's kind of like, it just, I don't know, it reminds me of like J2O when I was little. Like,
yeah.
That kind of vibe. But I do love, I've got more into kind of the ginger hints recently. So yeah, I look forward to having more. For sure. And so will most of my team, I imagine. They're going to be like, I need it.
Yeah.
So where can, obviously you've spoken about the website. Is that the best place to go?
So www.juice.co.uk is the best place to go in terms of least effort. You get it right to your front door. Easy. What more could you want?
Easy.
Amazon, we are now stocked on.
Amazing.
So you can also get it on Amazon, which
and
is great.
That's music to people's ears.
That is.
Like, yes.
But what you've got to do, you type in juiced and then it's going to auto-correct you to the I, Juiced, and you're going to tell Amazon, no, take out the I. You're going to click
without the I.
And then you're going to find us. Yeah. So I'm having an argument with Amazon about that right now, but we'll figure that out.
Love that.
Otherwise, my day, as I say, is I'm trying to go into cafes locally to me. So I'm central London. There's a couple up north now, cafes and gyms that are stocking it.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully a few down south.
Yes. If you know anyone, send them my way. I'll get it stocked.
And I'm really, really excited to see where this grows. Already in the past, 9 weeks, it's been epic, and seeing the amount of events you're doing and where you're at. So I'm so excited to see where this goes for you. And you never know. I'm sure there's more flavors potentially in the pipeline.
So we're going into hopefully the first round of investment. Touch wood.
Exciting.
Which sounds very fancy. It's again quite a boring process going through that all. It's but the plan is over the next 12 to 24 months to do another 2 flavors.
Cool.
And then there's been a lot of requests to have sparkling versions of them, which is quite easy to do.
Before I tried it, I thought it was sparkling.
Yes, and so we're going to do some work on the branding as well, because I think it gives off sparkling vibes right now. Bubbles.
But we learn.
People like bubbles.
People like bubbles, they do. And also,
some people don't like
some
bubbles.
people like putting it in fancy glasses,
There we
thinking
go.
they're going to drink,
This is it.
Wine on a Friday night, and it's not. It's even better.
Well, I guilty, don't quote me, but I do like to put vodka and tequila with it. It's great. But I know that's disclaimer again, not medical advice.
I'm here for it, the honesty, and also I bet it's really nice.
It's great. You're getting your macros in as well as your alcohol.
Yeah.
So, and not regularly. I'm not an alcoholic, but life's about having fun.
A little bit of balance. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited about this. And obviously, if you have any more questions for Jed, I will obviously tag the Instagram, and you can sort of message on the Juiced Instagram. I don't think anyone will have any questions for me on this scope, unless I have some to access for you to have. So yeah, all exciting things ahead. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Great to chat, and hopefully we'll see you on the next episode. A big thank you for joining me on my channel and tuning in. Find me on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon and YouTube at Diary to Empower. Follow me on Instagram, m_power.fitness, and TikTok, m.ibert. See you on the next episode.